It's part of the New South, and Raleigh, North Carolina knows how to blend the old with the new, especially when it comes to food.
Maui may be known for beaches, Mai Tais, and golf, but how about their wines?
Now, lots of folks are moving to Las Vegas, and for good reason. And yes, you could probably live here too.
And when you're in Hong Kong, get the noodles. Here is a place to try.
We are coasting in for a smooth landing on Undercover Jetsetter.
And hi everyone, cheers. We are coming to you from Hong Kong. In just a little bit, we're going to take you to a great noodle place.
That's right, but first we are going to dive into the tasty American South.
And it's more specifically, it's going to be Raleigh, North Carolina.
And it is a renowned chef who has many great restaurants there. Raleigh, North Carolina is pure fun for jet setters.
That's right. This southern gem is part of the Research Triangle, including Durham and Chapel Hill, with loads of high-tech jobs and lots of college town atmosphere.
We tailgated at an NC State football game, tasting some southern grilled choices, guided by the Norse god Thor, played by our jet setter in residence, Raleigh Rick Meadows.
So what is Thor doing at an NC State game?
Well, it's homecoming, and I actually graduated from NC State many years ago before I turned superhero. So I'm back here for the home crowd.
Now, you don't need to be a war god to smite your appetite, because you will be smitten with Raleigh and its vast culinary experience.
Next, we went on tour, the Chef Ashley Christensen tour. She was named the James Beard Top Chef Award for the Southeast.
First, we hit Fox Liquor Bar, and we had the passion fruit Mai Tai.
So this is a passion fruit Mai Tai. Traditional Mai Tai spec, you have like 1 ounce of rum, 3/4 ounce of orgeats, half ounce of curacao, and 1.5 ounces of 2 different types of rum. So
what were the other rums?
The other rums I used were Ray and Nephew white rum. It's overproof rum from Jamaica. It's got has a lot of banana flavor to it, but a lot of other citrusy, fruity flavors.
What's interesting is you put the ice in last.
Ice in last.
Why is that?
So for any drink on crushed ice, you're not gonna shake it. You have more surface area with crushed ice, so dilution's gonna happen a lot faster. So you wanna. Basically what you're trying to do is just control the dilution so you don't over-dilute the drink.
Next, Ryan poured us a Hemingway daiquiri.
Hemingway was a diabetic, being a big drinker. It's not too much of a surprise. So he wanted to come up with a cocktail that had just a little bit of, not as much simple syrup in there. So what he did was he did 1 ounce of grapefruit, 1/2 ounce of lime, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, 1.5 ounces of white rum, and then he did 1/2 ounce of maraschino, which is maraschino liqueur.
After leaving Papa's Key West taste, we walked about 20 steps to the south again at Ashley's BEASLEYS Chicken and Honey.
It looks like a 1950s cafe, but it ain't Mayberry.
The drinks were just as inventive. They're Moscow Mule without the copper cup.
So our Moscow Mule is a little different from a traditional Moscow Mule. Although it's not served in a copper mug, it comes in our mason jars along with all of our other drinks, and we actually, instead of using ginger beer, we use real ginger syrup that we fresh squeeze in-house. So it's got a real spicy ginger flavor to it that typically other mules lack.
And just as tasty and inventive was the Beasley's Dark and Stormy with Gosling's rum and their own fresh-made jalapeno ginger syrup. What a combo.
And for eats, a southern favorite turned gourmet. Chicken and waffles, the signature item.
People find it an odd pairing. However, when you think about it, sweet and salty pair very, very well with each other. And the crispness of the waffle, the moist chicken, you can eat it chicken separate, you can eat it with the waffle, there's no right or wrong way. The sweetness of the maple syrup and the honey that we drizzle on top, it's a spectacular dish. My preference is to do the work beforehand, get the meat off of the bone from the chicken, and then go to town, waffle and chicken at the same time with the syrup drizzled on all of it.
Next, we walked to Chuck's, another Ashley gem with a Southern cafe feel, to find a perfect burger.
And we found it with this dirty choice.
Yeah, y'all had the Dirty South, so that's just kind of a big honkin' chili cheeseburger, homemade slaw, homemade pork shoulder chili. Just the beef has its own story, so good. And if you're just in the mood for a hefty, big honkin' cheeseburger, rich, that's the one to get. It's all organic, grass-fed, chuck, as is the name of the restaurant. And we patty the burgers ourselves. It's ground by us. And yeah, we get just fresh beef every day. And I think it's the best burger in Raleigh, personally.
Our embed waiter Jeff made us rave about the fried pickles.
Yeah, we make the pickles in-house. I will just often get a side of pickles just to kind of munch on. I didn't like pickles until I started working here. I don't know what it is that they do to them, but it's incredible.
Okay, so burger and fried pickles goes with...
Spiked milkshakes. We got down and dirty with the mudslide.
The mudslide? Yeah, that's our most popular milkshake. 0.75 ounces of Kahlua, 0.75 ounces of Bailey's, and it just all kind of comes together really well. I mean, there's nothing better than chocolate and just some nice like burnt coffee, and it blends together really well.
And there was no calories.
None at all. It actually has negative calories. It slims you down.
Now, there's more. We hit POOLE'S, one of Ashley's first establishments.
Again, this has a cafe feel with an inventive southern bar.
Now, we tried the Garden and Gun Club Bourbon Martini with Maker's Mark, Cointreau, and an ounce of dry vermouth, a unique twist.
I think it's the combination of the lemon and the bourbon and the vermouth. You don't pair bourbon with vermouth very often. That's sweet vermouth, right? It's dry vermouth, but it does add a little sweetness that's different from the Cointreau.
And whatever you do, get the mac and cheese. It was not what your mama gave you in kindergarten.
Just a blend of Cabot white cheddar with Grana Padano and aged Parmesan and a little Gruyere, and that is going to be mixed with the pasta, topped with a little more of the cheese, a little heavy cream, a little salt and pepper. Goes right under the broiler, and it comes out like this, and it's the best mac and cheese in the country, probably.
Sound like boasting? It ain't boasting if you can back it up.
Boneless beef short ribs pastrami style, and they tasted like pastrami.
Taking beef short ribs, they're brining them, rubbing them with a black pepper coriander crust, roasting them off, and then doing them served warm over a little crisp red cabbage slaw with wild ramp Russian dressing on the plate and some of the warm jus to pour over the ribs. So some of the flavors of a pastrami sandwich, but with boneless beef short ribs.
Then we moved on and dove into Death and Taxes, Ashley's signature restaurant.
The building was a former funeral home and a bank.
And you'll be dying for this food. You can take that to the bank at this wood-fired piece of heaven.
If death and taxes are inevitable, then have an orgasm.
Actually, it's a cocktail called La Petite Mort, the French description for sexual ecstasy, which apparently is vodka, tomato water, thyme, lemon, and dry vermouth.
For a post-climax app, try the roasted oysters. Real simple with preserved lemon and chili butter.
For an entree, get the bone-in ribeye. Notice the food was gone before the video could roll.
And for dessert, jump into the burnt maple flan with olive oil cake and black sesame pralines.
Now, luckily, with all the food, Raleigh is also a great town to walk in. But Lyft and Uber are plentiful.
Raleigh is a must, even if you're one of those smiting gods.
You can be in here.
All right, we will have a lot more on Raleigh and the restaurants there on our YouTube channel, so check it out.
You know, and one of the things that was so great about these restaurants, and this is something you've pointed out, that celebrity chefs, when they put together a restaurant, not only their servers, but everybody there is just so knowledgeable. And these folks there, they were fabulous.
Oh yeah, and that is the sign of a true great foodie town.
And when we come back, we're still going to be in Hong Kong, but we're going to take you to Maui for what else? Wine. You know, Maui can be so many things. You can have a fast-paced vacation where it's golf, beach, and nightlife. There's so many things to really do there.
Absolutely, or you could just bring the kids and chill out.
And if you're a foodie, you can enjoy the farm to table, which really, as you say, originated there.
Absolutely, or you can hit the only winery on Maui.
You can't help but be a little buzzed here even before you drink the wine.
This is the Maui Wine Vineyards in Ulupalakua, famous for pineapple wine and great views.
So let's get some libations in your hand.
First, the Maui Splash, a sparkling wine made with pineapple. It's very enjoyable and is refreshing with a touch of that pineapple taste. This is a perfect drink for a tropical day.
Now, some pineapple wines might be too sweet. Don't worry, we shy away from sweet but found these very refreshing.
It is one of the many wines you can taste at the tasting room here.
Like most of Hawaii, you can just sip and relax here trying a few different wines.
The vineyard has 16 acres of grapes along with eucalyptus trees that offer a different terroir.
Now, they produce a variety of grapes such as Syrah, Malbec, Grenache, Chenin Blanc, and Viognier.
The real task is to grow grapes that would normally grow in a more temperate climate with warm days and cooler nights.
But the Maui Wine Vineyard continues to test and try different techniques, leading to some interesting wines.
But they also source grapes from the mainland.
Now, the Mele is a red blend. The grapes are from California. This was well-rounded and would go great with any meat, even pork.
The Lokalani was a real surprise. This is a sparkling rosé, also using grapes from California. That is a blend of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, a dry and delightful combo with fun bubbles.
Now, although the vineyard has been here for 40 years, the history of the land goes back centuries. This kauri tree from New Zealand is 1,000 years old.
King David Kalakaua, known as the Merry Monarch and the last monarch of Hawaii, loved this place.
Back in the mid-19th century, he revived surfing, the ukulele, and the hula during his reign. Clearly, he loved a good time.
And his personality permeates not only this vineyard, but also a lot of the culture and history of Hawaii as we know it today. As we have often said, he would have made a great undercover jet setter.
And this was his favorite place on the island. He would come here and entertain, and why not?
These posts are the hula circle, made from Italian cypress trees. This is where hula dancers performed in celebration of his arrival.
King Kalakaua loved champagne, so the winery makes several sparkling wines in his honor.
We think you need to drop by, try some, and toast the king, as we did. Now, many of those wines are great, especially the pineapple ones. If you're making sangria or you're going to have some hot, spicy food, they work really well.
Yeah, and either way, just visiting the place is not only a lot of fun, but it's relaxing too.
Oh, absolutely. And when we come back, we're going to go to Vegas and find out if you could live there.
And welcome back. Of course, many of you know that each of us have lived in Las Vegas at various times, and we both rave about Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, but could you live there? And now that is a question that we dove into, and we think the answer is yes.
All right, let's start with who should not live in Las Vegas.
Well, first and most obvious, if you have a gambling addiction, stay away.
Second, if you crave cold weather, the heat here can be tough.
Otherwise, this is a no-brainer for jet setters.
And trust us, we have both lived here and loved it.
The weather here is sensational. The dry heat makes 100-degree temps much more livable.
And it allows you to be outdoors almost year-round. You could play golf in the morning.
Then head to the nearby mountains of Mount Charleston for snow skiing in the afternoon.
And despite the casinos, you can live in quiet, well-kept neighborhoods miles away from the Strip.
But still imbibe in the many activities the entertainment and tourism industries offer,
which are paying to keep your taxes low.
One of the biggest reasons to move here, Vegas is booming. The joke is that the crane is the state bird. High-tech and disruptive industries such as marijuana are setting up shop too.
Hugh Anderson is a financial advisor who has lived in Vegas for 25 years.
He's seen boom to bust in the Great Recession and then to boom again, along with some new industries.
It's one of the most creative entrepreneurial towns you'll ever find. It's a wonderful small town community that nobody's really aware of. But the reality is, since 2006, 2008, the Great Recession, we've had a couple of brand new industries land in Las Vegas. One is professional sports. That didn't exist 5 years ago. Now we have I think 4 professional sports teams and another 5th on the way, and promises of 2 more. So we'll have every major sports league covered probably well within the next 10 years. And that's a major industry. That has ripple effects throughout the industry. The other is esports, which you may be familiar with, but it's the concept of these professional gamers who play these video games for money in massive tournaments. Well, Nevada is, and Southern Nevada specifically, wants to be the epicenter for that industry, and it's big business, and it's creating another industry that is fascinating to watch.
So Vegas is now one of the great sports towns. The Golden Knights almost won the Stanley Cup in their first year.
And the Raiders arrive from Oakland. Plus, there are great sports bars in the neighborhoods that have inventive drinks and superb food.
And you can bet on sports almost anywhere.
And there is only one place to experience March Madness.
Now, all economic analysis we've seen and heard says the boom should continue on and off the Strip.
The cost of living remains low, and it is growing, so housing demand might overtake supply. So looking at Vegas sooner rather than later makes sense.
Now, from our research, a single needs about $2,500 a month. A couple, about $4,000 to $5,000 monthly to live adequately.
Remember, too, Nevada has no state income tax, another benefit compared to most other states.
And yes, it is a great spot for retirees, but retirees who come here are active. There is so much to do.
And if you have any arthritis issues, according to many friends, it bothers you less in the dry heat here.
Or maybe they're just having so much fun.
Cam McLemore, who was a transplant from North Carolina, says locals get great deals on shows of all kinds.
Vegas is all about the deal. When people come to Vegas, it's all about the glitz and glamour. It's all about going to the biggest shows and those kind of things. And being a local, we wanted to take advantage of that, but we didn't want to break the bank. So we were able to find some great deals on the internet. House seats, Phyllis seats are 2 great ticket-based programs. Amber and myself have seen over 60 different shows since we moved to Vegas in over a year's time. We've only spent a couple $100s doing that, so we've made Vegas very affordable on a budget.
Cam and his wife moved back to the Carolinas for family reasons recently, but they still miss it.
Especially the Smith Center. This entertainment venue draws international and Broadway-type shows and concerts.
And Vegas is also home to one of the great food towns, even off the Strip.
As we have shown you, many of the world's great chefs have restaurants in the neighborhoods.
There are also great shopping areas and eating locations like Town Square or downtown Summerlin.
Even local casinos like Green Valley Ranch or the M are draws for locals who don't gamble but want to meet up with friends.
Vegas is still a 24-hour town, but that's good. You can grocery shop at 3 a.m. if you wish.
Although traffic is getting a bit heavier, still the transportation is superb, and the local bus service can get you where you want to go to.
Plus, Uber and Lyft are all over the place now. Drivers tell us they make about $600 to $1,000 a week.
You have easy access to other cities like Southern California, Napa, Phoenix, Denver, and Salt Lake City.
Another big draw for Vegas is the people.
Welcome to Jada's. John and Susie have been wonderful. Hope to see you again here soon. We'll do it even better next time.
This is a true community. Remember the horrible shooting massacre? It's hard to forget.
But take a look at how the community came together to help everyone.
No one hesitated to come out and overwhelm the system with donations, blood, time, money, you name it. They were very, very dedicated to helping those in need. And that's not supposed to happen in Las Vegas. Everybody's supposed to be too self-absorbed with gambling or whatever else they think we do here. But it's a great small town community. And consistently in the top 2 or 3 responses I get is the people are so welcoming here. Everybody wants to help.
That is the Vegas spirit.
Friendly neighbors and great service.
So why not consider Las Vegas?
And we always tell folks, if you're thinking about moving there, go there on a vacation. Don't go to the Strip. Go off the Strip so you can understand what's going on in the local neighborhoods.
Yeah, and that's great advice because remember, taking a vacation there and living there is totally different.
The one thing you'll learn is it's a great community of people there.
Oh, absolutely. That is so true.
Well, as we said, we are in Hong Kong, and we've actually done a number of other shows from Hong Kong, and we've done an awful lot on the food here.
Oh, that's right. And now we're going to take you to one of the city's best cuisines, because when you come here, this is a must-do. It's noodles. Noodles are not only a mainstay in Hong Kong, they are also an art form.
And not only that, they are cheap and so darn delicious.
Noodle shops abound in Hong Kong, and we found a hidden local gem for you, Tsim Chai Kee Noodle in Central.
They serve up some of the best noodle soup in the city daily, starting at 11 a.m.
We went traditional with the king prawn wonton noodle. The broth is piping hot, sweet, rich, and buttery.
The noodles, which are the regular yellow noodles, are nicely chewy and fresh as a spring morning.
And the huge wonton dumplings, filled with chunky portions of shrimp, are off the chain yum.
Now, we shared a bowl and were both full. The entire meal cost 30 Hong Kong dollars, about $4 US, for 2 people for lunch.
And the all-female staff, way to go women, do an amazing job of cooking and serving up all the food so it is hot, fresh, fast, and flavorful.
And as is the culture here, they are proficient and expedient in a small kitchen space.
Their skill and artfulness are obvious as they stir and serve the noodles using giant chopsticks.
Now, there is a high turnover rate here, so get in, get your noodles, which will arrive in like 5 minutes. Eat and get out.
And plan ahead so you don't get hangry, as most of the time there will be a line out the door.
But here's a Jetsetter tip. If you go in between meal times, like 3 to 4 p.m., for example, you have a better chance of avoiding the line.
Noodles symbolize longevity and long life. They are a common dish in all celebrations, but eat them at their full strand's length.
That's right, don't cut them, as that is thought to be very unlucky.
So get to Tsim Chai Kee and eat up your long strand noodles, Jetsetters, and live your best and longest life. Now, there are plenty of great noodle places here, and that's just one of the ones that we found.
And there are plenty of great restaurants here in Hong Kong as well.
That's right, and we hope you get a chance to come here or visit again if you haven't already. Tweet us at UC Foodie and let us know when you do, and let us know what you love about this city, because we love it.
Cheers.
Cheers from Hong Kong.